Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the joint collaboration of me, Innerji The Metaphysical Crone, and our very own Twisted by Mish. Hi Mish, how are you?
Hi, Lesley. I'm good, thank you. And yourself?
I'm really well. I can't believe that it is time for Lughnasadh again. Yeah, the wheel has turned very, very quickly, hasn't it? I just wanted to make
Yeah.
mention of the dates for people who are not sure. The traditional date here in the Southern Hemisphere is the 1st of February, and the actual date, which is based on the position of the sun between the summer solstice and the autumn equinox, if I've got the right way round, is going to be the 4th of February. So I like to use those 4 days as time of thinking about what it might mean. And it leads me into, what does it mean for you this year?
For me, I guess, and like it's all, and always, it's the wind up of summer. It's like it's like we've come through the hottest part, and it's sort of like the wind up. School's going back, work's going back, yeah, holiday makers are leaving where we are. So it's sort of a reflection of all the celebrations we've had for what we've achieved over the previous year, and then moving into and using those wins, I guess you'd say, wins or the blessings that we've used and the lessons that we've learned, starting to move forward and assessing what parts that worked really well we're going to keep in flowing forward and moving on.
Yeah, and here in Australia, because our summer climate can be very different from summer to summer, and this year the summer seems to have been getting hotter when traditionally it would be getting just a little bit cooler. So it's a little bit out of sync at the moment. And so I always like to take that into consideration when I am looking at the Sabbath that I am celebrating at the time. And this is a time of the first harvest. It's a time of transformation. And as you said, it's a time to reflect on what has worked and reflect on what hasn't worked, and to let go of what is no longer serving us. I know that's kind of become a bit of a cliche with people, but it's still true. It still holds true. So Mish, how do you plan on celebrating this Sabbath this year in comparison to other years?
This year I have a little garden with some herbs that I like to put into tea. So this year I've been picking those because they're, like my chamomile at the moment is all in flower. So I've been picking it and actually putting it in the dehydrator to dry it out, because the weather's so humid. It just would molt before it dried, I think, if I was just to leave it in bundles upside down. So I've got the dehydrator out and doing it the modern way. And yeah, just sort of dehydrating herbs and mindfully doing that. It's like collecting the crops, where I'm harvesting and preserving them for the future, for the colder months. So yeah, just a little bit of reflecting on that, and how it would have used to be, and enjoying all of what is in abundance at the moment. We've got heaps of fresh produce in abundance at the moment, and it's quite nice. So yeah,
and of course you love cooking
a lot
as well.
of raw eating at the moment, a lot of salads. Yeah.
Sounds wonderful. I take a more inward approach when it comes to the Sabbath. So for this one, I'll be looking at what it is I want to release, but I'm going to start by offering gratitude and having gratitude for the blessings I already have that have grown through since the previous Sabbath. So I'll be offering sort of gratitude for that. And then I'll be looking at what I want to release and doing a little ritual around that, and then setting new intentions over the 4 days of Lughnasadh in terms of how I want to move forward as I move towards the next Sabbath on the wheel. So I keep mine very internal. My herb garden, aside from lavender, is totally defunct at the moment, so we're not going there except for harvesting some lavender. It's also about And I wanted to bring up a good point because that's something that you said. You know, we live in a modern world where the ability to harvest the way we used to in days gone by when the majority of us were farmers, there are different ways to harvest. And that's why I like to use the energy in the internal sense of harvesting, as well as what you can literally harvest in your garden. So, yeah. Shall we do a reading for everyone? All right.
Yes.
Let's shuffle the deck. Do you want to go first?
Yes, I can go first. So we're just going to be asking sort of what it is that we need to focus our energies perhaps on this at this time.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. Yeah.
Right. So I will use my runes as usual, but I've also got the what's it called? The sorry, mine's gone blank.
So the anatomy of a witch one, that new one? Yeah.
Laura Tempest Zakharov.
Love it. Love it. Gorgeous deck.
Cool. So I have been using this lately, and it's really just resonating with me. So I will do both the card and runes. Okay, just give them all a bit of a mix. Okay, so I've got 2 runes here to start with. Hopefully these won't disappear. There we go. So I've got the star and the moon. So the star, I'm feeling, is very much about celebrating those wins. You know, really, I find that at times of evaluation, we can really focus on the negative things we want to get rid of, as opposed to the things we really want to keep. So I feel like the star is a reminder just to focus on those wins, to focus on those blessings. And the moon is about phases. So, you know, it's a time moving forward. It's thinking about moving forward and the progression. And regardless of where we're at the moment, it is about, you know, going through those phases. So, and perhaps even like, I think using the moon as energy, like the energy of the moon and its phases with your own personal internal workings might be a good way to do that as well. Like using that, you know, full moon, what are you releasing? And then new moon, you know, setting your intentions and working throughout the phases, you know, the waxing and the waning as well, working through those phases and drawing on that energy of the moon to help out a little bit. The card I've got is Awake. It's called Awake, and we've got the owl there, and it's got the lock over the heart, and it's perched up on the key there. So the key for me represents success. So working in harmony with that star. So I feel like it's a really positive time. There's new opportunities, but making sure that what you're unlocking is truth for you and coming from your heart space, not so much the chatter that we have in our brains. You know, it's like really feeling it, you know, feeling things on a soul level, and what's working for you from that heart space is what's going to open new opportunities. And just being ourselves, being ourselves wholly. He's perched over a cup of tea there, and there's that little spiraling energy around. You know, I know that I like to use a spoon and stir intentions into a cup. So maybe this feels like a reminder to put a little ritual in. You know, we can do so much working out, but without an action, it's not going to progress. It's not going to go into that next phase. You need to add action to it. And so, you know, a little mindful cup of tea, sitting, listening to what messages are coming in and stirring in your intentions for what you want for the year ahead just might be the way to add that very first step. Advice of what you think you can do this reading today.
Yeah, and I have a number of your intention spoons for different purposes, and I absolutely love them. I think that's great. And once again, our readings are marrying up because you're talking about the positives and what you want to bring in, and the cards that I have brought out are ones about what you want to release. So the first one I have is the 10 of Swords reversed. And this is saying to me, it's about letting go those little hurts. Letting go those little hurts that have been hanging on and hanging on and hanging on. They're not serving you by hanging on to them. You are the one that is hurting you by holding on to old grudges and old issues. So it's time to let them drop out. That's what I'm seeing with this card. The next card I have is the beautiful card. It's the Lovers. By releasing those little niggly things that keep, you know, Mish talked about that little voice in your head that keeps going round and round. That's what I'm talking about. Release that negative voice that's in your head and bring yourself back into balance once more and share the love. And no, another cliche, share the love. But really, when we do come from our heart, that's when the major changes occur because we're coming from our energy in motion. In other words, emotion. So that's what I'm seeing with the Lovers card. And the final card I have is the Two of Swords. Now she's got a blindfold over her eyes. She's got two swords crossed as if in saying stop. And this I'm seeing is actually something very positive, getting the balance back, releasing the old niggles, and then you go stop. I am renewing how I will be in the future when I have to deal with niggles, stresses, and strains, that I will take it from a new perspective and look at it in a different way, releasing old responsive patterns. Now, the oracle card I have is from a new deck as well. It's called the Earth and Bone Oracle, which I absolutely love. And this is the card of the Wayfarer. So it is time for you to start a new journey. We talk about the wheel of the year. It goes round and, you know, Lughnasadh comes back every year, but it's not like we're just repeating the same thing over and over. Each Sabbath gives us the opportunity for renewal in some form. And I see that with this Wayfarer card. It is time to take a new journey. Now, the beautiful words on this card are contemplation, search for truth and inner guidance. And this is searching not for the truth of everyone else or the truth of the world. This is searching what is true for you, really diving deep within yourself, taking that inward journey to find your truth because it may be different from someone else's truth. And then contemplating what that truth means for you and then how you can manifest it in the outer world. So all are really interesting readings today in terms of our beautiful Lughnasadh. It's also called... Yeah, and it's also known as Lammas as well. Some people call it Lammas. And because I'm Scottish, I actually really like the Scottish Gaelic name for it, which is, let me find it in my notes here, it's Lughnasadh. Lughnasadh, I think is how we say it. That's the Scottish Gaelic as opposed to the Irish Gaelic, to just throw that in. Any final words that you would like to share with everyone?
I think just really just focusing on all the good that has come and drawing on that for moving forward. Acknowledging that hasn't, so that we're not. You can acknowledge that and leave that behind, so we're not dragging it along with us because it's really heavy. So yeah, just focusing on those blessings and putting those good things in place and keeping those for the year ahead.
I think so. And understanding that facing something that you want to let go of doesn't mean you have to relive it. You just need to acknowledge it, be aware, and then release, and then focus on the journey as you want to move forward between now and the next Sabbath. So it's been wonderful to do this again with you, Mish. I absolutely love our shared readings. And we will be doing this a little more often. We've been on a little bit of a sabbatical due to busy family lives, busy work lives, but we're getting ourselves back on track again. So I look forward to seeing you again, Mish, and I look forward to seeing everyone again in the near future. So take care, everyone.
Yep, take care. Bountiful blessings, everybody.